everyone. I'm Fabien Junod, an Anaplan solution architect at Autodesk. I've been working with Anaplan for the past 6 years, and I'm here with my colleague Jami to share some tips how to improve the user experience in your pages. Jami?
Great. Yep. My name is Jami Segoria. I've been working with Autodesk for about 3.5 years here, all in Anaplan as well. And we're really excited to show you some of these solutions.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you, Jami. Let me start by sharing my screen. Okay. So this is an example where we have a standard forecast table for the current and the next 4 fiscal years. We have the details with multiple dimensions and the time by month. So you can see there is a lot of horizontal scrolling if you want to see all the data. And I'm sure there are many cases where end users don't need that level of granularity for the full 5 years. As an example, they might want to see the current year by month, but then next fiscal year by quarter, and after that, just the total for the year. So we built a solution to allow users to select the level of granularity they want. So I'll quickly show you, and then I'll demo how we built it. So here at the top, for each fiscal year, the end user can select what granularity they want, if they want to see it by month, by quarter, or only the fiscal year. As an example, let's say I only want to look at the quarter for the fiscal year 23 and 24, and after that, I only need the total for the fiscal year. So as you can see, as I select the granularity I want, the table shows my selections. And now if I want to see more details for the current year, because I need to understand the forecast by month, then I select month. And as you can see now, I have all the month for the current fiscal year. So let's jump into the model to see how we built that. So for this filtering, we will use, we are using 4 modules. So 2 standard system modules for time, one by month, another by quarter. 1 input module where the end user will input their selection. This, as you will see, is dimensioned by users. So the selections are saved for each user. And then 1 final system module where we have the filter to apply to the table. So let's review the first 2 system modules. These are fairly standard. This is the time by month. So we have 3 line items. 1 is the month, the second is the quarter, and then the year. So the formulas for each one is really the item time. As you can see, the only thing that changes is the format. One is the month, the quarter, and the year. In a similar way, we have the system module for quarter, where we have, same, we have the item, which is the quarter, and then we have the year. And again, this is exactly the same formula, item time. Now, let's see the input module. So the dimension, the time scale is here. This is where the end user will select for each year the level of details they want. And we have 3 Boolean line items, month, quarter, and year. So those are the selections that you were seeing in the page that drive what's visible in the table. And finally, we have the system module that builds the filter to use. So we have 4 line items. One is the month selected, the quarter selected, and the year selected. And finally, a combination of the 3 to get the filters. As you can see, the time scale for the month, the time scale is month, for the quarter is quarter, and for year selected is year. In a normal build, since this is creating subsidiary views, I would create separate modules for these line items. So we don't have the subsidiary views. But for this demo, I thought it was good to have all in the same module so you can see what happens. So let me open in the split view. So let's see the formula for the month selected. So I'm referencing the input from the end user, this line item, month, and then I'm looking up the year for that month. So that means for January 23, the fiscal year is fiscal year 23, and then I check here in the input for the line item month if the fiscal year 23 is checked. So if it's checked, then all the months for the fiscal year 23 will be selected. You can see if I unselect fiscal year 23 month, you will see that all the months are unselected. If I select for fiscal year 24, you can see below all the months for fiscal year 24 are selected. And in the same way for the quarter. So I'm referencing the quarter selection from the end user, and then I'm looking up the year. So every time I tick select or unselect, you will see here the quarter selected or unselected. So if I unselect for fiscal year 23, all the quarters for fiscal year 23 are unselected. If I click, they are selected. And then for the year, I'm directly referencing this line item, this selection. So as you see, if I unselect fiscal year 23 is unselected. And then the filter is just a Boolean, which is either month selected or quarter selected or year selected. So that way we have a combination of all the three selections. And it's important to see that to combine those three selections, the summary for the filter should be set as formula. So that way you are sure that we have, the three selections are taken into account. Then going back to our table, the way to use that filter is the way you set up all the filters. So when you are building your view, you have the filter icon. Here we are selecting for columns as we have our time as columns. And then this is, referencing the filter line item that I selected, if it's true, and then for current user. So that way, as I was saying at the beginning, the selection are safe for each user. And in the page, in the app, if you have multiple pages with tables with the same granularity, so each table will be showing the selection. So you do once the selection, and then you can see that selection in all the pages that you have. So hopefully this is helpful for you and your end users. And now Jami will share another tip how to facilitate the navigation in the pages.
Thank you, Fabien. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it. Sorry, I was on mute.
Perfect. That's okay. Perfect. Thank you. So now that we've demoed the time granularity here, another solution that we needed to come up with on a recent build was the fact that the end user needed to have multiple dimensionality on their output. So I think that the actual number count came to 11, which equates to a lot of drop downs here. So in order for the end user to review his data every single time, he would have to come up here and click, multiple times in order to see at a lower level of granularity, which just becomes a very cumbersome process. And so we decided to come up with a more elegant solution for it, and what we're deeming or to be called slicers here, which is actually a pretty simple solution that I'll walk you through in a second here. But as you can see, you can put your slicers right across the top. You can select very quickly and you can get that level of granularity that you're looking at. One thing I will note here is that you can only have 6 side by side here. So you may have to either, pick and choose which ones make sense and leave the rest up top, or, just have them shown down here. Or you can obviously just add more slicers and just kind of have two rows of them if you choose. So let me go ahead and demonstrate how these work. It's quite simple. If I look right here, you can see that this, let me go ahead and hit this. You can see that this is just a system module. I'm actually going to go ahead and review this program one right here. So back in our model here, you can see that this is just a simple systems module, and using our best practices, the systems modules are just dimensioned by a single list, and then they're going to be populated by a series of line items, right? So it's very simple. So what we do here is we just publish that system module to the page. As you can see here, I'm actually going to go ahead and delete this one out and bring it back in just to show you. So what we do here is we just grab the grid, throw it in, select our systems module, and then you're going to put your dimension as rows, your line items as columns here. And then this is a very important step that you're going to want to take. So as time goes on, your systems module will have more line items in it. And so every time that you add a line item, it potentially is going to be added to all of your slicers that you're updating, or that you're posting to your page. So the thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to right click on just a single line item. So there's only one right now, so this is very easy, but you select one, you hit show, and that would get rid of all of the other line items. And then you're going to hit hide on that same line item. And so now every time that you add a line item, this module will not increase the line items on it. And so this will be static the rest of the time. So you hit update here. Then one thing that I like to do is kind of exit out of there. And then I like to drag this all the way across just so that it's flush with the rest of the card here, and then hit publish. Before I hit publish, one other thing that may be beneficial to you is to make sure that you save it as a card, or as a template, I mean. So save card as template here, and then that way you could just say, sys program, or you could say slicer program, whatever it may be. So that way, every time that you're adding to a new page, then you have it right there ready to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit publish, and it's ready to go just right there, just like that. One last thing that I would like to mention here is that that our calculation module here is actually at a lower level of granularity. So you can see right here that we have our region, which is Asia Pacific, but then you can see all of the countries that are under it. But up here in our slicers, you don't see country. All you see is region. So if I hit Europe here, you can see all of the countries, but that does not work right off the bat. There is one thing that you have to do here. So if you go in here and you go to context, you have to select hierarchy filter in order for this to work. If it's off, it's not going to work quite the way that we're intending here. So just make sure that you have that on, and you'll be set. And for that is all that I got.
Perfect. Nice one. Thank you, Jami. Cool. So we shared the 2 tips for simplify the navigation for the end users. We're hoping that they will be useful for you. And that's it. Yeah. Thank you.